Hi there, Michael here. In today's video, we're counting down 10 underrated immersive audio plugins that can take your 3D sound to the next level. These are the unsung heroes of spatial audio, tools that deserve way more love for what they bring to the table. We'll rank them from the least underrated, which are still awesome but slightly better known, to the most underrated, which are the real hidden gems. Stick around because you might just discover your new secret weapon for immersive mixes. And if you have been watching my channel for a while, the last one will actually surprise you. So let's dive in. Before we get started, a quick heads up. This isn't a sponsored video, though I did receive reviewer's license for some of these plugins. And this list is completely subjective, my personal take after years of working with spatial audio. But I'm really curious, what plugins do you think should be on such a list? What are your favorite underrated plugins for spatial audio? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. If enough of you share your hidden gems, I'll make a follow-up video featuring all the tools that you find underrated. So if you want to see a part 2, make sure to leave your picks in the comments. Now let's kick things off with number 10, which isn't actually a traditional plugin, but rather a standalone application designed to work alongside your digital audio workstation. I've included it here because it's strangely absent from most spatial audio software lists, despite being an absolute powerhouse for immersive mixing. Flux Earcam Spud Revolution, the immersive mixing powerhouse. Coming in at number 10 is Spud Revolution by Flux and Earcam, a tool so powerful and comprehensive that it's almost mythical among audio professionals. While not exactly unknown in high-end studios, it's hugely underappreciated by the wider community. What makes Spud special is how it handles room acoustics. You can choose or design virtual rooms, and the plugin generates localized early reflections and reverb, so your sounds aren't just panned in space, they live in a believable environment. Think of it like having a virtual concert hall or film stage inside your computer. Spud supports all major spatial audio approaches, channel-based surround, ambisonics up to 7th order, and binaural rendering for headphones. Many folks shy away because of its learning curve and standalone nature, because it runs alongside your digital audio workstation, but that extra effort pays off in unmatched spatial control. For serious immersive audio work, Spud Revolution redefines what's possible in spatial mixing, whether you're working on live concerts, installations, or even scientific research. Spatial Audio Designer, SAD, format agnostic immersive mixing. At number 9, we have Spatial Audio Designer, or SAD, and I seriously hope that that's the way you pronounce it, because SAD would just be sad. From New Audio Technology. This plugin has been around for a while and was somewhat ahead of its time. SAD is a virtual mixing and monitoring environment that's completely format agnostic. With just a few clicks, you can mix in anything from stereo to 5.1, 7.1, Dolby Atmos, Aura, 3D, MPEG-H, or even custom speaker layouts. One reason SAD is underappreciated is that Dolby Atmos workflow stole the spotlight. But SAD has one very interesting feature. It can read your existing surround panning automation and magically expand it into 3D. Imagine importing an old 5.1 session and in minutes having a 7.1.4 Atmos mix without starting from scratch. What I particularly value is its binaural monitoring with real-world measured studio profiles. It's like trying on different pairs of professional listening glasses. You can mix over headphones as if you are in a high-end studio, a car, or a living room. If you do any work with Sony 360 Reality Audio or MPEG-H, SAD is one of the few plugins supporting these formats natively. And despite this strength, SAD remains largely unknown outside immersive audio circles. Sound Particle Space Controller, point-to-pan magic. At number 8 is something more fun, Space Controller by Sound Particles. This one makes panning in 3D space as intuitive as pointing a finger. Instead of dragging dots with a mouse, you simply point your phone in the direction you want your sound to come from and it moves it there. It works with formats from basic stereo up to full Dolby Atmos setups. The way this works feels very intuitive. You move your hand and the sound follows in real time. Your phone effectively becomes a panner, which not only makes the process more engaging, but yields more natural movement in your mixes. You're effectively performing the panning moves, so if you want a whooshing effect to fly overhead and behind you, you can literally toss it there with a gesture. Outside immersive audio circles, not many people know that this exists. Some might dismiss it as a gimmick until they actually use it. But it's surprisingly robust with minimal latency and various panning styles. Space Controller brings back that tactile creative element to mixing that disappeared when everything went into the box. It's an underrated gem for making immersive panning both fast and genuinely fun. If you're interested in learning more about Space Controller, I did a video about it a while back. Go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. IEM Plugin Suite, the free spatial Swiss Army knife. The IEM Plugin Suite is a collection of free open-source plugins from the Institute of Electronic Music in Graz, Austria. Anyone deep into ambisonics knows these tools, but I'm surprised by how many producers don't, and they are missing out on what's essentially a Swiss Army knife for spatial audio. This suite includes everything for ambisonics up to 7th order, which is 64 channels. This includes encoders to position mono and stereo in 3D, decoders for speakers or headphones, plus specialized effects. Highlights include Room Encoder, which creates virtual rooms with more than 200 reflections, Granular Encoder for particle-like spatial sounds, and Allrad Encoder for custom speaker layouts. There's also a multiband compressor, limiter, and visualizers, all designed specifically for 3D audio. In my projects, I regularly use the stereo encoder to inject stereo tracks into 3D mixes while maintaining width control, and the room encoder whenever I need realistic space. These tools were designed by researchers, so they lack flashy marketing, which is precisely why they are underrated. The IEM suite proves that sometimes the best things in audio are free, just hiding on a university website rather than a flashy plugin store. Blue Ripple Sound O3A Core, higher order ambisonics made easy. Another free toolkit that flies under the radar is Blue Ripple Sound's O3A Core. While Blue Ripple isn't a big name in mainstream audio, they've been doing stellar work in immersive audio for years. O3A Core provides essential tools for getting into higher order ambisonics at 3rd order, which is 16 channels, and yes, it's completely free. The package includes everything for a basic ambisonics workflow. These are O3A panners for different styles of positioning, O3A decoders for speakers or headphones, plus utilities like O3A converter, which is for swapping between ambisonics formats, virtual microphones to aim into a sound field, and tools like O3A look and O3A rotation to manipulate orientation. There's even an ambisonic spatial delay effect and visualizers. What makes O3A Core stand out is its accessibility. It's designed to cover all the basics of 3D mixing, and on top of everything, 3rd order strikes a good balance between spatial resolution and CPU usage. Despite being free and high quality, Blue Ripple's suite is overshadowed by others, perhaps because these tools quietly sit on their website waiting to be found. I found the binaural decoders to be exceptionally clear and phase accurate. Some forum users even prefer them over more prominent alternatives. Noisemakers Ambibundle HD, instant immersive soundscapes. Breaking into our top 5 is Ambibundle HD by Noisemakers, a secret weapon for creating 360 videos and virtual reality experiences. This small French company might not be on every engineer's radar, but their tools are renowned for speed and simplicity in immersive content creation. The Ambibundle HD provides a complete chain for ambisonics, Ambipan HD for positioning, Ambiverb HD, which is a spatial reverb supporting custom impulse responses, Ambihead HD for binaural rendering with head tracking, and Ambilimiter HD for dynamics in the ambisonics domain. You can take dry sounds and quickly pan them, add spatial depth with reverb, and outputs to various immersive formats, including head-tracked binaural. What makes it special is the intuitive workflow. Ambipan offers an equirectangular view, the same format used for 360 videos, making it easy to play sounds relative to your visual content. Think of it like being able to paint sounds directly onto the 360 canvas that viewers will see. The reverb is particularly flexible, allowing you to swap out spaces by loading different impulse responses. Despite being overshadowed by tools from other companies, Noisemakers consistently updates this bundle with pro features like higher order custom reverbs and improved head tracking support. If you want a quick all-in-one solution for transforming raw sounds into immersive mixes, Ambibundle HD deserves much more recognition than it gets. Mach 1 Spatial System, democratizing spatial audio formats. At number 4, we have the Mach 1 Spatial System, which is not just a plugin, but an open spatial audio framework. Mach 1 might be the most forward-thinking yet underhyped approach to immersive audio, focusing on making spatial audio accessible, consistent, and deployable anywhere. The system includes a Mach 1 Penner, which is an encoder plugin, a Mach 1 Monitor, which is a decoder with head tracking, a Mach 1 Transcoder for format conversions, and additional tools like Video Player and Mobile App. What makes Mach 1 unique is its virtual vector-based panning format that packs immersive audio into simple multi-channel layouts that can be used in standard audio files or game engines without proprietary decoders. What excites me about Mach 1 is its philosophy of keeping spatial audio as just audio, making it future-proof. You could archive a Mach 1 mix today and decode it decades later as long as you know the format specifications. Despite being an indie initiative rather than a corporate standard, Mach 1 is pushing technological boundaries. It's definitely underrated now, but it has tremendous potential to shape how we approach immersive audio workflows. And if you want to learn more about the Mach 1 system, check out the video I did a while back. Link is in the description. SSA Plugins AX Ambisonic Suite, Higher Order Heaven. Our number 3 pick is for true spatial audio nerds, the AX Ambisonic Suite by SSA Plugins. While most people work in third order ambisonics, or maybe fifth or seventh order if they're adventurous, SSA pushed it to an astonishing 10th order. That's 121 channels for full sphere audio. But it's not just about big numbers, it's about creating an ecosystem of ambisonics tools that feel as familiar as regular mixing plugin. The suite includes all essential components: AX Penner for positioning, AX Monitor for decoding to headphones or speakers, plus a range of effects like EX Equalizer, EX Compressor, EX Delay, EX Gate, and more, all working directly in the ambisonics domain. This is crucial because normally processing an ambisonics mix as a multi-channel audio file risks destroying spatial cues if channels are treated separately. Think of it like sculpting a 3D object. If you push on just one side, the whole thing gets distorted. SSA designed the effects to preserve the spatial image, so the apparent direction of sounds doesn't shift when you adjust their tonal or dynamic qualities. SSA Plugins is essentially the work of a single developer with deep spatial audio expertise. They offer different tiers, 3rd, 7th or 10th order, so you only pay for what you need. In the field, 10th order ambisonics is practically research grade, future-proofing your content for when consumer technology can render that level of detail. Even if you work at lower levels, SSA's workflow enhancements make mixing in ambisonics nearly as intuitive as stereo, potentially saving you hours of headaches. And if you want to see me mess around with 10th order ambisonics with SSA plugins, which has been a lot of fun, check out the video in the description. Gravitas MDS, the Atmos glue you didn't know you needed. At number 2 is a plugin addressing a very specific immersive audio challenge, and that is Gravitas MDS by Fiedler Audio. If you're working in Dolby Atmos or other multi-channel formats, you've probably struggled with how to glue your mix together like we do in stereo with bus compression. Gravitas MDS is the first high-end mix bus and mastering compression built specifically for multi-channel and immersive audio. If used within the Dolby Atmos Composer by Fiedler Audio, it compresses all Atmos channels at once, and that intelligently. You can place it across your Atmos bed and object buses, yielding the same glue and loudness control we expect in polished stereo mixes. It's not just channel linking, it has deep controls for multi-channel compression, including group linking, detection curves, and even a special mode inspired by classic analog mastering compressors. Gravitas MDS is underrated because it's addressing a gap many producers don't yet realize exists. Dolby's production tools focus on panning and routing, not the sound of your mix. And as immersive audio matures, tools like this that bring studio quality finesse to 3D mixing will become essential. For now, it remains one of the spatial audio world's best kept secrets, and if you want to hear me continue raving about Gravitas, check out the review I did a while back. Link as always in the description below. And this brings us to number 1. ENA-GRM Spacemaster, the hidden freebie for surround nerds. And finally, the most underrated immersive audio plugin, at least according to me, GRM Tools Spacemaster from INA GRM, the legendary French research group behind pioneering electronic music tools. Spacemaster is a free utility that was quietly released years ago, yet remains largely unknown outside specialized forums. What does it do? Spacemaster helps you configure and calibrate multi-channel speaker layouts and position audio within them, essentially a routing and panning matrix for up to 64 outputs. Imagine setting up a gallery installation with 12 speakers in a circle plus 4 speakers overhead. Spacemaster lets you define that arrangement and route your input channels with spatial positioning. What makes this so valuable is that it doesn't box you into standard formats. Instead of limiting you to conventional layouts, Spacemaster gives you complete freedom to define your own speaker configurations, up to 64 outputs in any arrangement you can imagine. You simply define the positions, calibrate the levels, and start placing sounds. For installation artists or anyone working beyond conventional home theater layouts, this flexibility is invaluable. The INA GRM pedigree means that this tool came from the minds that pioneered spatial sound. They created some of the earliest surround sound concerts. Even better, Spacemaster pairs with the companion plugin SpaceVR, which is also free, allowing you to design complex spatial setups and still monitor on headphones during production. And there we have it, 10 underrated plugins that can seriously level up your immersive audio game. If you found a plugin on this list that you've never heard of, maybe give it a try, you might discover a new favorite. And if you've been using any of these, let me know in the comments how they've helped your workflow or any cool tricks that you've learned. If you've enjoyed this rundown, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more immersive audio tips and tricks. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or join our free Discord server. The invite link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.